What if the quarters you've been spending your whole life are actually worth a fortune? The 1969 and 1994 Washington quarters may look totally ordinary, but hidden inside them are rare errors and secret varieties that collectors in the USA are paying huge money for. These simple pocket coins have shocked everyone, from vending machine users to auction buyers, because some of them are secretly worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So before you spend your next quarter, you might want to take a closer look. Welcome back to Numis Explorer. The story of the 1969 quarter dollar begins at a time when the United States was undergoing massive transitions, both politically and economically, and this coin silently witnessed every shift in American life. Minted just a few years after the U.S. stopped producing silver quarters in 1964, the 1969 Washington quarter belongs to the first generation of fully copper-nickel clad coins, making it a coin born in the era of new change in American currency history. For many collectors today, this coin is a reminder of how dramatically U.S. coinage evolved, yet its simple design hides a powerful story many people don't know. It carries the portrait of George Washington, and although millions were made, only a few survived in sharp, original condition because these were everyday workhorse coins used constantly in markets, gas stations, diners, and buses across America. Imagine how many hands the specific coin must have passed through. The soldiers returning from Vietnam, the workers fueling the space race, the teenagers buying their first movie tickets in the late 60s. And hidden within this everyday pocket change lies a mystery that keeps collectors alert even today. Certain 1969 quarters struck with errors or preserved unusually well are silently worth far more than their face value, and in some rare cases, shockingly expensive. This simple-looking quarter might be much more than it appears at first glance. When you look closely at the 1969 quarter, you see more than worn metal. You see traces of American history compressed into a small circular space. This was the era when the nation was preparing for the moon landing, the civil rights movement was reshaping the country, and the U.S. Mint itself was adopting new minting technology to keep up with demand. The 1969 quarter was part of that technological shift, and the copper-nickel layering technique used for this coin became the permanent standard for future U.S. quarters. But here's where things get more interesting. The transition wasn't perfectly smooth, and the year 1969 is known to have produced several unusual minting imperfections, making it a favorite year for error hunters. Some coins show double dies, some show off-center strikes, and some even have clipped planchets, each error turning a normal quarter into a coin worth hundreds or even thousands. Many collectors who first dismissed the 1969 quarter as nothing special later discovered that their ordinary circulation coin was hiding a secret flaw that dramatically raised its value. That suspense, never knowing whether a coin is common or extremely rare, is what makes these older quarters so exciting to explore. The design of the coin itself carries deep symbolism. The obverse shows George Washington, the founding father whose leadership shaped the earliest identity of the United States. But the reverse features a powerful eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength, defense, and vigilance. Although the design looks simple, every line and every feather reflect meticulous detail crafted by sculptor John Flanagan. Even after decades of circulation, many 1969 quarters still show traces of this detail, proving the quality of minting in that era. But beyond the design lies another layer of fascination. Collectors always wonder if the coin they are holding was part of a special mint set, struck with sharper detail and mirror-like surfaces. Such coins were never meant to circulate, yet some accidentally slipped into everyday use. If someone unknowingly spent a proof-like 1969 quarter on a candy bar decades ago, they might have given away a coin now worth a surprising amount. That tiny possibility keeps collectors scanning every inch of the coin with anticipation, hoping to spot signs of an unusually sharp strike, a brighter shine, or a deeper relief. The year 1969 also matters because of the mint marks, or in many cases, the absence of one. The quarter you see might have been minted at Philadelphia with no mint mark, or at Denver with a small D mark. While both versions are common, their values begin to change dramatically when condition enters the picture. High-grade 1969 quarters, especially in mint state condition, become incredibly scarce because quarters were heavily used in daily transactions, far more than pennies or nickels. That means finding a 1969 quarter that looks fresh, sharp, and close to its original shine is extremely rare today. Auction records show that certain high-grade examples have sold for impressive prices, shocking casual viewers who never imagined a simple pocket quarter could be worth so much. This adds another suspenseful layer. A coin that looks ordinary to most people may be a treasure to someone who truly understands what to look for. And this suspense fuels the thrill of coin collecting. Every discovery can flip into a moment of excitement. Many people are surprised to learn that the value of a 1969 quarter can multiply based on factors hidden in plain sight. A tiny doubling in the letters, a faint line out of place, a small shift in the portrait. All these imperfections can turn a 25-cent coin into something collectors compete for. Some error coins from this year have been documented selling far above expectations because errors in the late 1960s were less controlled, making each surviving specimen a rare accidental relic. Imagine holding a coin that once slipped past the eyes of mint inspectors, entered circulation unnoticed, traveled through decades of transactions, and ended up in your hands only to reveal a valuable secret after all these years. That feeling of unlocking hidden worth, of discovering something others might have overlooked, is one of the main reasons people love vintage U.S. coins. The 1969 quarter continues to deliver that feeling to collectors even today. Even though millions were produced, every 1969 quarter has its own unique journey. Some were lost, some were melted, some stayed in circulation until completely worn, and a rare few were preserved by chance or by collectors who recognized their significance early on. Over the decades, these coins have quietly gained appreciation among collectors because they mark an important turning point in coinage history. They represent the durability of America's modern coin system and the shift toward long-lasting, affordable metals. And yet, ironically, many people still ignore them, unaware that one of these coins might be exceptionally rare, valuable, or historically special. That mystery of never quite knowing what you're holding makes the 1969 quarter dollar a coin worth examining closely. It reminds us that treasure doesn't always shine brightly at first glance. Sometimes it hides beneath years of circulation, waiting for the right person to discover its story. The next 1994 quarter dollar begins in a decade when America was undergoing rapid modernization, technological breakthroughs, and cultural transformation. Yet the quarter remained the steady and familiar piece of everyday life. Although millions of these coins were minted, each one holds quiet traces of the U.S. Mint's evolving production quality of the 1990s. The design may look the same as earlier decades, a proud portrait of George Washington on the obverse, but the way the Mint created these coins had changed dramatically. New machinery, updated presses, and improved metal layering processes made 1994 quarters sharper and more uniform, yet subtle variations still slipped through, creating rare collectible surprises. People who look at the 1994 quarter often think it's just another common coin, but hidden within this ordinary design is a range of mysterious minting details, unexpected errors, and rare high-grade examples that have shocked collectors in auctions. The suspense comes from the simple fact that you never truly know whether a 1994 quarter is worth 25 cents or hundreds of dollars until you examine it very closely. And that mystery makes this coin far more interesting than it appears in the first glance. BY 1994. The copper-nickel clad composition had long replaced silver, but the Mint was still perfecting the consistency of these modern alloys. The layers of copper inside and nickel outside were fused together under extreme pressure, creating that signature two-tone rim visible on the edge of every quarter. But in some rare 1994 coins, defects in the metal strip or changes in pressure produced unusual anomalies like missing clad layers, off-center strikes, and weak strikes, each one now considered a collectible treasure. These errors happened so quickly during the minting process that employees often didn't catch them, allowing them to slip into circulation unnoticed. For collectors, discovering these hidden mistakes decades later brings a sense of excitement, almost like uncovering a secret accidentally left behind by the Mint. What makes the suspense even stronger is that most of these rare errors look ordinary to untrained eyes, meaning everyday people might have spent them without realizing their value. Imagine someone using a rare missing clad 1994 quarter at a vending machine in 1996, completely unaware it could have become a high-value collectible today. That possibility is what keeps collectors checking every 1994 quarter closely. Another fascinating part of the 1994 quarter's history is the role of the three major mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia produced the majority, marked with no mint mark, while Denver used the D mint mark, and San Francisco produced the special proof coins for collectors. These proof coins were struck multiple times, giving them mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp details. Although proof coins were not meant for circulation, some still found their way into everyday use over the years. So when you're holding a 1994 quarter with unusually shiny fields or sharper lettering, You might be holding a proof coin that somehow escaped its protective packaging and survived decades of wear. And high-grade proof coins with errors, like double dyes or cameo contrasts, can reach impressive auction prices. Collectors love the suspense of checking each quarter to see whether it might belong to a rare mintage group. The idea that an ordinary-looking coin might secretly be a proof or a special die variety adds excitement to the coin story and keeps the audience hooked. The design elements of the 1994 quarter also contribute to its charm. The portrait of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan, had become a national icon by this time. Yet even after decades of use, minor design changes and repolishing of dies created subtle differences from year to year. Some 1994 quarters have deeper relief, more pronounced hair detail, or cleaner lettering than others due to variations in die wear. These tiny differences are enough to help experts identify rare varieties that can multiply the value of the coin significantly. Even the eagle on the reverse, symbolizing strength and protection, can show doubled feather lines, extra metal, or die chips, all of which are considered valuable by collectors. Many people don't realize that these imperfections weren't intentional. They happened because dies were used beyond their ideal lifespan, or because metal debris slightly displaced during striking. And the thought that such microscopic, almost invisible details can make a coin rare enough to attract serious collectors adds another layer of suspense to its story. The 1994 quarter also stands out because high-grade examples are surprisingly hard to find. Quarters were heavily used in laundromats, payphones, toll booths, arcades, and vending machines in the 1990s. This constant circulation meant that most 1994 quarters became scratched, worn, and dull within a few years. Finding one in mint state condition today feels like discovering a preserved piece of 1990s American life. Grading services like PCGS and NGC have reported that only a small percentage of 1994 quarters can achieve the highest collectible grades, and those that do often sell for shockingly high prices. Some exceptional examples have crossed the $1,000 mark in auctions, surprising collectors around the world. This unpredictability, never knowing which coin will become the next record breaker, keeps collectors hunting for flawless 1,994 quarters in jars, boxes, wallets, and even pocket change. It turns an ordinary search into an exciting adventure as time passes. The 1994 quarter dollar becomes more than just a piece of currency. It becomes a time capsule from a decade filled with rapid growth, new technology, and cultural moments that shaped modern America. Every scratch, every toning pattern, every tiny minting flaw tells a small part of that story, whether it's circulated through amusement parks, grocery stores, or gas stations. Whether it sat forgotten in a drawer for years, or whether it survived untouched in a collector's set, each 1994 quarter carries its own hidden journey. And the excitement comes from knowing that among millions of ordinary coins, a few rare and valuable ones are still waiting to be discovered. That suspense, that possibility, that hidden treasure factor is what makes the 1994 quarter dollar such a fascinating coin for collectors and an engaging story for your audience.